Hello and welcome to Holy Week. I have a question that I want to ask you today in regards to your witness and my witness to a world that needs Jesus. Have you ever had your words and your actions contradict one another? If so, you're like me. At that moment, we're not really a useful witness. We become something of a hindrance and sometimes even a hurdle for people, and we don't want our witness to be useless. So how is it that we can get our words and our actions on the same page so that the light of Jesus shines through us in a more brighter way? Well, James gives us some really good insight on that, and I'll read out of his book, James 1:26 and 27. It says, "If anyone among you thinks he is religious and does not bridle his tongue or control his tongue, he deceives his own heart, and this one's religion is useless. Pure and undefiled religion before God and the Father is this, to visit orphans and widows in their affliction and to keep oneself unspotted from the world." Wow, okay. Let's take a look at this word useless. None of us want to feel useless. As a matter of fact, just the thought of, or the idea of thinking that we're useless is one that can be very devastating to us. And yet, we can deceive ourselves. What is James talking about here when he says you don't want to be useless? What he's saying is when we believe, you and I believe, or we think that our words are just as impactful as our actions, we can enter into that place that our witness is not useful, it's useless. Ouch. Our words and our actions need to be the same. And what he goes on to say is this: if you want to know what pure and undefiled religion or worship or expressions of faith look like, then look at the person who's doing something. What are they doing? They're doing things for people that can never repay them. In moments of affliction for a widow or an orphan, they have the presence of a believer in their life. That's impactful. But what about others that are marginalized? The poor, the needy, the foreigner. See, we're called to impact those people for the glory of God. And if all we use are our words and our words don't line up with our actions, then we're not really being a useful believer. So I want to go back now and read a few verses, because you're probably thinking like I am, how do I become more useful? How do I become a better witness? Well, it begins with looking at a few verses that James has already stated. He said, "My beloved brethren, let every one of us be swift to hear, slow to speak, and slow to wrath. For the wrath of man does not produce the righteousness of God. And be doers of the word, not hearers only, deceiving your own self." I think it becomes really wise on our behalf to become better listeners. Be slow to speak, be slow to wrath. Because, in those moments where we're speaking out of emotion, out of wrath, we're not really letting our light shine. And so the world looks at us and says, gosh, their anger is just like my anger. Their angst is just like my angst. And let's just curb that behavior and let's be swift to hear, slow to speak, and slow to wrath. And then we won't be hung by the tongue. You ever been hung by the tongue? Oh my gosh, it's painful, isn't it? I don't want to lose a witness. You don't want to lose a witness. You love God. I love this quote, and I'm going to finish with this. It's been said of Christians that they love God, but sometimes people wonder if they have a love for godliness. Oh man, does that hit you like it hits me? Let's not only love God, yes, let's love God, but let's love godliness, the lifestyle that shows that we love God. Have a great day. God bless you, and come be with us during Holy Week. We're here Wednesdays at 7, Friday at 7, and Sunday at 10 o'clock to worship the Lord. Living Word Fellowship, you're always welcome. God bless you.